Hey everyone, my name is Tess Chasen, and in this video I wanted to share with you how I passed the North Carolina real estate exam on the first try. Let's get into it. If you're watching this video, you're probably at the point where you're about to take the state test, or you're coming up on it, or maybe you're just researching far into the future to see how you can better prepare for it. If any of those are true, great, I'm glad you're here. There is not a ton of videos on this, so I hope I can share something that you can take from this video. So I passed the North Carolina state exam yesterday. I wanted to share this video and make it right now so I can remember everything and share with you guys all my tips. So here, the first one, I will just be blatantly honest, I went to the Pan School of Real Estate, and that instructor is the instructor that all of the YouTubers are talking about. A lot of other agents who are studying talk about him too. His name is Travis Everett. I do highly recommend this. As a visual learner myself, I learn best from watching videos, watching stuff get done, having it repeated verbally to me. I cannot stand textbooks. Not a single time did my instructor read from the textbook, nor did we. I mean, obviously he pulled concepts from it, but he never was like, turn to page 72, unless it was for the loan amortization table, which actually on the test did not get a single question. They gave you the chart, so know how to use it, but I didn't get a question on it. So I went to the Pan School of Real Estate. That's the first thing that was probably a big help to me. I was on Zooms 3 nights a week with Travis Everett, and I was in a class with 160 people. So that was an experience in itself, but I was provided with one of the best instructors in North Carolina, so that was very beneficial to me. So I would highly recommend watching him on YouTube. So I'll link him in the description, and I will probably put a screen up on here. Look him up. He's got videos ranging from every single chapter. And at the very end, what I did the week before, not a couple days, the week before the exam, I watched his reviews. He has reviews that are like chapters 1 through 5, 5 through 6, 6 through 10, etc. And they really just give you a quick outline. Now, if you don't know the material, you don't know the material. But those outlines give you, kind of gets it all in your brain. And if you're like, wait, I forgot about that, you can look at that and say, okay, it's probably 9 or 10 contract law, where I can go back and rewatch those videos. Everything he has is free. You do not have to pay for anything to pass this test, other than obviously your course that you are attending, which if you are still picking and you are very, very far in advance of this process, I'd recommend Pan School of Real Estate. Personally, you get a bunch of, this is not a plug for them, but it really helped me a lot. You get all the PowerPoint slides. You do get the textbook if that's something that helps you study, but you have all the videos and you have live instruction as well. Speaking of studying, I did not study for a week before my exam. So some people might think that's crazy. I don't. So my course exam was on the Thursday, and I took my state exam on a Wednesday. So it was the Thursday before the Wednesday. So I guess not really a full week, but I studied hard for the course exam. So in North Carolina, you have to pass the course exam in order to be eligible for the state exam. So that was very, very important to me. So I studied really hard for that, watched the videos, was cramming, learned about what I didn't get right. And with my instructor, with the course exam, once we finished the exam, we would have our grade, but it would also tell us what chapters were the chapters that we missed questions from. So that's when I rewatched those specific chapters. So that helped me a lot. If you don't have that from your course, you can always look up free tests. But I will say that the most prevalent chapters on the final exam are chapters 1, which is, or Appendix A, license law, North Carolina license law, very important. Chapters 7 and 8, agency, 9 and 10, and 14 and 15. Those were very prevalent on the exam, and they're also prevalent in real life. It's about contracts. 9 and 10 is contract law. I struggled with that when I was in class, but I rewatched it and I really had to get it in my brain. Those are the main chapters. So if you are struggling with the math, another thing, if you're struggling with the math, don't spend all of your study time on the math. Don't spend all your time figuring out, oh, how do I do excise tax? How do I do this loan amortization, how do I do the PI payment, how do I calculate interest? That is good to know, but I only got 3 questions on the exam. I'm not saying don't learn it, you should learn it, because if at the end of the day, 3 questions can make or break you. But I think that if you are freaking out about not knowing the math, it's okay. Don't stress about it. I'm just saying it's not worth spending all of your study time on the math, which I was worried about because we did a lot of math in our class, in our course, but there's only 3 questions. But you could get more. But I'm just saying, me and a fellow, another licensee who took the course the course test about 2 months before me, she didn't get a single math question on her exam. So just know the contract law. That's really what's important, I think. So circling back to studying, I think it's important to know what kind of a learner you are. And this kind of goes back to a whole other thing, which I may rant about in a different video, but what course you should take the course that you can learn from, if that makes sense. So if you're a visual learner, look up the videos on YouTube. I cannot stress this enough. Videos, YouTube, you don't have to watch it like this. It's like an hour each class. You can play it. I would play it, listen to it in the car like a podcast. I do my laundry listening to it like a podcast. I have ADD, so I do well like when I'm listening to something and kind of doing something else mindless like laundry or cleaning or something. But listen to those. He breaks stuff down. It's great. It sticks in your brain. If you are somebody, I think my mom is this way. If you're somebody who who does really well with the textbook, print the textbook. Write yourself some slides, or there's free slides online. Also, don't trust what every single realtor on the internet says. Also, because there is stuff that is specific to your state, 1, and 2. You can, for the most part, it's probably true, but I would just say do your research. If something's like, that didn't really match up with what my instructor said, be careful and ask your instructor. So getting to the specifics of the exam, I had 45 state questions and 90 national questions. I had 4 hours to complete. I think it was 2.5 hours to complete the national and 2 hours or 1.5 hours to finish the state exam. I believe that may have been incorrect, but I was in the testing center. But yes, you can bookmark your questions, you can skip questions, come back to it, but you have to finish the specific section before you can move on to the next one. You can take them at the same time. If you fail the state and pass the national, you can keep the pass on the national and just come back another day to take the state, retake it, so you don't have to retake the entirety of the test. But we're talking about passing the first time. So again, don't overstudy. That's another thing. A lot of people were cramming the whole week before, and I was trying to cram because I was getting nervous because I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm not actively studying and looking at this material. I feel okay. I feel safe. And I think it's because I had just studied so hard the week before, and I had gotten 90s, 95s on the course exams. There wasn't much for me to keep studying. And if you should study what you don't know, but if you already know stuff, skip over it, don't worry about that. But I think that if you know the material and you're confident in it, don't feel like you have to force yourself to study, because then you might get brain fog. I got brain fog, and then I was just overwhelmed, and I just couldn't focus on it. I started mixing up laws that I'd never mixed up before. So just read and just know what you know, and know you're gonna be fine. I promise you. So the last thing I wanted to share with you guys and advise you on is do not wait so long to take the exam. I took it within 6 days. Some people, if you just scraped by your course exam and you know what you need to study and you can study and apply that and be diligent on that, do that. That would be great. But if you, statistically, people fail if they wait longer. More people fail the longer they wait, if that's the right way to put that. So I would just take a deep breath and go. Whenever you pass your course exam and it goes to the real estate commission, you are approved to, sign up for PSI or a testing center, testing site to take your exam. Just take it. It's going to be okay. And if you fail it the first time, that's okay. A lot of people do. It's it's not a common thing to pass on the first time, because it is different. In your course exam and what you're used to, the questions you're used to answering may be worded slightly differently. And they were, for me, they were worded completely and drastically differently than my exam, so I had to reread it, and I was like, wait a minute, okay. So just take your time and bookmark stuff, take a break, stretch. I would recommend definitely like doing either like a light walk or a stretch, at least a stretch before your exam, because it gets blood flow going and it helps, you know, it helps me focus and get a little bit of clarity in my brain. So thank you guys for staying tuned and listening to my little rant about how I passed the North Carolina real estate exam on the first try. I hope you guys learned something. If you are new licensees and you're going to take this test, comment down below. I really want to start like a chain of congratulations and encouragement for you, because it is scary and it's a big step, and I believe that you guys can do it. Please comment any questions you may have. I would love to answer them for you. I would love to make new videos. This is all new for me in 2021, so I have updated information that's pretty current, I would say. So feel free to reach out to me at any time in the comments or in my email address, which I will put on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!